Do you love Batman?
Do you love Frasier?
Do you love Seinfeld?
Do you love Dr. Seuss?
Do you love James Bond?
Do you love Captain America?
Oh, hell, do you just love everything that's nerd-related?
I know I do.
Well, you should come on over to a Nerd's World podcast and listen to us, Justin and Andrew, talk everything that's nerd.
Yeah, every 2 weeks, we delve into some random topic that we choose at the end of each episode, and we tell you the whole history of it, or as much as we feel the need to write down, our history of it, and our favorite things about it.
So come on over to a Nerd's World,
wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome, everyone, to Pod and Gore, your one-stop shop for everything horror. Now here's your hosts, Justin and Brandon. Take it away, boys.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pod and Gore. My name is Justin.
My name is Brandon.
And welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome to the show.
I'm so excited, unexcited. This is my episode.
Are you, though?
I picked a movie for reasons, and we watched it because we had to, and now we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. You definitely started out with more excitement for this movie than you've expressed at all since watching it. So I was definitely...
I'm trying to stay upbeat for the listeners.
I definitely wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Since we had a technical difficulty, let's call it.
Oh, yeah.
You actually don't know, unless obviously you read the title.
Right.
This wasn't one that we announced, and you missed out on my Sunday thing that I did there.
I will find it someday.
Yeah. After it doesn't matter.
Shut up. So what happened was we recorded our Leslie Vernon episode, and the SD card grew legs, walked away, and got a job somewhere. I can't find it.
Possibly out of state.
Yeah.
Hasn't sent a postcard quite yet.
He's like, fuck you guys, I'm out. It was fun, but I'm out.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do is with being an episode behind because of my unfortunate mishap, we're going to do this Maximum Overdrive, and then we're going to pop out a bonus episode to make up for it, and we are going to
briefly cap.
Yeah, we're gonna do a quick shot of Leslie Vernon. I got the notes so we can go over it, and then we're gonna talk about 2 just random indie style movies. I don't know how indie yours is, but
I think it is, but we'll get into it when we get to it.
Right, and so we're gonna each talk about a movie.
Yeah.
It'll just be something quick and fun to tide you over until we pop out my next episode.
Yeah. So for Maximum Overdrive, Sunday. That's the last time I'm going to do it. I have to, because I have the voice, so I want to use it when I can.
But see,
this
the thing
is hopefully
like,
the only time I can.
Yeah, I hope so too. Because
unless there's a monster truck horror movie I don't know about.
Honestly, like... This is their first time hearing it, but like I've been hearing it nonstop for like 3 weeks, and I'm like, stop with it, dude. You're making me hate Sunday.
More so. Directed by Stephen King, for reasons. Produced by Martha Schumacher. I don't know if she is any relation to Joel or not. You were going to look that up and didn't.
You didn't ask me to look it up.
Pretty sure I did.
No, you said that if she was related to Joel Schumacher, that it would make sense, and that was basically the end of...
Well, then you started fucking around on your phone, and I thought you were looking it up. Screenplay by Stephen King based on Trucks by Stephen King, which was included in the author's first collection of short stories called Night Shift.
Night Shift.
Shifting at night. Stars Emilio Estevez.
It's... Who? Emilio Estevez? What are you doing? You know I drank before I came over, man.
Making sure you're paying attention. Pat Hingle, who was Commissioner Gordon in the Burton Schumacher Batman movies.
Oh, the old Pat Hingles was a fucking dickhead in this movie.
Laura Harrington, Christopher Murney, and Yeardley Smith, also known as Lisa Simpson from The Simpsons.
Right.
And you can tell.
Yeah, you can. And the funny thing is I'm not seeing any anything that's tying those two together.
Schumacher relations.
Yeah.
So it's just a random Schumacher instance.
I guess so.
Music by AC/DC, and
Very
they
much
use it
so.
a lot
Which is
for reasons.
everything is for reasons to you, man.
It's a good joke. Just move on. It
It's
was
not that
released
good.
on July 25th, 1986. Before I was born, thank God. Things got better after I came into this world. Budget of $9 million with a box office of $7.4 million.
Oh, that's going in the red
Yeah, it's still more than it should have
for
got.
reasons.
Why would you make that joke? That doesn't even make sense.
Because
The plot, for those of you fortunate enough, I should say, to have not ever seen this movie, a truck stop cook, Emilio Estevez, and
Estevez. Esteban. Oh, man.
you gotta have fun. And hitchhiker Laura Harrington flee big rigs demonized by a rogue comet, because that happens. You should be afraid of it.
It does happen.
The film was first to be made by Embassy Pictures after it had been bought by Dino De Laurentiis in a.
I did see that. I think that's Schumacher's husband. If I saw that
yeah?
right.
There you go. That makes sense. In a 2002 interview with Tony.
Well, the funny thing is too is that she also produced Raw Deal, which is the other part of that DVD that you let me
That
borrow.
makes sense. For the book Hollywood's Stephen King, King stated that he was, quote, coked out of his mind all through its production, and he really didn't know what he was doing. And we can tell.
It's not that bad, you fucking crybaby.
No, but you know,
It's 1986.
I know.
And it has that same cheese that a lot of those, like, it almost
You know,
like
if
feels.
I can't crap on this movie, what are we here for?
It almost feels like kind of like how, like when they did It for TV. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it felt like, except for they put it into a movie. Like it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Are you though?
I'm just trying to have some fun. Have fun with me.
No, don't fucking make me out to be the dick. I've had to listen to you bitch about this movie for fucking weeks now.
Just in my, yeah, I know. Let's see. Paul Atanasio of the Washington Post wrote that the film, quote, is like sitting alongside a 3-year-old as he skids with Tonka trucks across the living room floor and says, whee! Except on a somewhat grander scale. And added that as a director, Stephen King, quote, proves that he hasn't got an ounce of visual style, the vaguest idea of how to direct actors, or the sense that God gave a grapefruit.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, that one was particularly brutal. And I did the research before watching the movie, and it did sour me, because
Yeah.
I really was not looking forward to this.
Yeah, and that was the thing too, is like when you were talking about this movie, I'm like, God, I need somebody to say something positive about it, because I'm going to go into watching it and having your
Tainted
fucking mind.
views.
Yeah, I'm going to have your mindset on it being like, oh, this movie fucking sucks. And it didn't.
For the lead role of Bill Robinson, King wanted Bruce Springsteen. But De Laurentiis, the film's executive producer, did not know who he was.
Wait, what?
That's why I added that fact.
Who doesn't know who the boss is?
Exactly. The film's main villain, the Happy Toys truck, is modeled after Marvel's Green Goblin. Obvious. Let's see. For the trailer, King made himself the star of it. In addition to promising the audience that he would scare the hell out of them, King also took the opportunity to throw shade at the filmmakers who had previously adapted his work, saying that he decided to direct the film because, quote, if you want something done right, you ought to do it yourself. And that, quote, I just wanted someone to do a Stephen King right. And he made all these proclamations set to the score of Tommy Lee Wallace's Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Wow.
Yeah. On July 31st, 1985, a radio-controlled lawnmower that was being featured as one of the film's sentient machines malfunctioned and struck a piece of wood that was being used as a camera support, and though cinematographer Armando Nanuzzi had wanted to remove the blade from the lawnmower before filming, King reportedly wanted it to be as realistic as possible. So when the out of
That
control...
would be the Coke?
Yeah.
He's like, no, there's no reason to have the blade in there, but we want realism, goddammit.
So when the out-of-control machine struck the wood, the wedge splintered and injured Nannuzzi so badly that he lost his right eye.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Nannuzzi ended up suing King and 17 others involved in the making of the film for $18 million, which, to go back, is over twice as much as the box office. Citing that they were wanton and reckless, the case eventually settled out of court. Yeah. Last thing, before we get into the whole thing, the film was nominated for 2 Golden Raspberry Awards, including Worst Director for King and Worst Actor for Estevez in 1987, but both lost against Prince for Under the Cherry Moon, whatever the hell that is. In 1988, Maximum Overdrive was nominated for Best Film at the International Fantasy Film Festival. So there's something good that came out of it. Didn't win, but it got nominated. That's it. That's
Okay.
all I got.
Really?
That is really it. When I went to the Wikipedia to look up, because that's usually what we do,
Right.
because it's the easiest, there was nothing. Like, it was 2 paragraphs. And so I had to go on other websites, and that's where I got some of the other info.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened with the indie movies that we're going to do later. For mine, I mean, obviously, there wasn't a lot about it, and
Yeah.
it was kind of tricky going through and trying to be like, oh, okay.
They made the movie. That's
Yeah.
really all you need to know. So I love, now that we're going into the full-on review, that it starts with Stephen King,
Yeah.
because, you know, he needs to be front and center. But first of all, the bank reader board says, fuck you.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Well, nobody else in the movie did either. Like, I noticed it first thing, and it was like, how does no one else on the street look up and go, wait, it says what? Can't say that on a bank.
That'd be hilarious.
But then Stephen King's called an asshole by an ATM, which I found very fitting.
Yeah, that's what you are, an asshole. And I thought that was Stephen King's mug on there too, and I'm like this guy.
This fucking guy.
And he was talking, well, like what you're talking about before about wanting to be front and center and this and that. Like that's literally all I remember seeing him in that movie too.
Yeah, that's the only scene he's in.
Okay.
Unless I noticed it somewhere else. Or didn't notice it somewhere else.
I don't know if I don't think I did.
What, you think I thought you did?
Either way.
And then, of course, the massive amounts of AC/DC starts.
Yeah, literally it's like 2 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
It does start out with the AC/DC. Who Made Who, which is one of my favorite AC/DC songs anyway. So when it started out with that, I'm like, all right, kind of put me in a good spot to start it out. I mean, I got taken out quickly, but
Sure.
like
By the massive amounts of breaking glass and
yeah, that
cars
was one.
skidding down the thing,
The
even
ramp,
though it
like,
hadn't really moved.
It hadn't really gone up at all. Like the angles that they were showing, people were like sliding and falling out, and I'm like,
What does your car do when it snows? Do you just like die?
yeah, like there was literally, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, it's not even at that much of an angle. I'm
No.
like, what the hell? And yeah, there was insane amounts of breaking glass. I want to say that I think I saw the watermelon breaking the glass at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. And she screams at that watermelon way too much.
Every time.
Like, I get it. It's very frightening, but it's a watermelon.
Right.
Like, let's move on. And
And
then,
the-
of course, the AC/DC
That
van.
AC/DC van was
For
super
no
cool.
reason.
Other than
It's AC/DC.
product
Like,
placement.
Stephen King went to AC/DC and said, I love you guys. Can you please do the music for this? And they said, okay. And they used them.
Yeah, but I mean, it was in there, but I mean, there's like, what, 5, 6 songs? It wasn't like nonstop.
No, it wasn't as... When I read it was music by AC/DC and how much Stephen King loved them, I was like, oh God, it's just going to be constant background. And there were times where it took me out of it, and I was like, really? You don't need to do that right now. But there were actually scenes where it fit.
Yeah.
And so it was an odd... It's like most 80s movies, where it's like the music either helps it a lot or is horrible and shouldn't be there.
Fair enough.
Thank you. So Emilio answers to Commissioner Gordon, which I thought was awesome. I didn't recognize the name when I was doing the research.
Oh yeah, Pat Hingle. That name stands out. Like when I saw that, I'm like, all right, cool. And
Check
then
one.
yeah, and then I was like, no, this guy's a fucking asshole.
He really was. I mean, he was just this cigar chomping crazy peckerwood for no real reason.
Other than calling everybody Bubba.
Yeah. It made me sad. It's like, really? It's Commissioner Gordon. Like, do
He was
something
such
better.
he was so nice.
And then the over-the-top generic slasher noises. Did that not bother you? It seemed like it came out of nowhere for no reason and was every time he tried to do something scary. I didn't like it at all. I was going to say I kind of liked it when the Carver thing went after the arm, because that was a cool scene.
That was hilarious.
But that noise made me go, you did that. Like, you watched Friday the 13th too, huh?
I don't think I noticed it as many times as you did, but
They did it at least 3 times.
I was kind of out of it last night, though.
Are you ever in it? Moving
No,
on.
not really.
Yeah, to me, the meat carver was... it was the one time where it was like, okay, this makes sense as to why this could be scary.
So
and it also reminded me of the Simpsons episode where I'm assuming they mocked this movie.
Probably, but by jumping into the slicer, you also jumped over the Green Goblin truck intro being driven by Pop from Luke Cage.
Well, I have it down here a little ways.
Wasn't he in the restaurant already when that happened, though?
I don't remember. Maybe. We can talk about it now, though.
Yeah, but I mean, so that's the thing that I remember most about this movie is that truck.
Oh, yeah.
And then I didn't...
as comic book fans,
yeah,
first and foremost for me anyway, it's... And, doing the notes for this, it was like, oh, you at least you're admitting that you did that on purpose. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like... We didn't know that it was exactly the Green Goblin. Winkety wink, wink, wink.
I don't know how'd they get away with it.
That's what I was about to ask. I don't know. I mean, at that point, Marvel wasn't that big. Now you couldn't do that. Marvel is a giant, backed by Disney, who could squash anybody. Am I saying a thing that's not true? They're backed by Disney, one of the biggest companies in the world. I wasn't singing their praises. I was stating a fact. You peckerwood.
Hey, you and your fucking repeating of words.
Done. Yeah, I don't get how they. But my point is that at that time.
Oh, you had one?
Yeah, if you'd stop interrupting me like a jerk face hole. That at that time, I mean, Marvel was just shy of going bankrupt. Because they went bankrupt in the 90s. So they really didn't have the clout, maybe, to be like... Maybe they were just happy that a Marvel character was in something. Because, I mean, even in, like... Well, I was going to say in Reservoir Dogs, there's that Silver Surfer poster and talk of the Thing and stuff. But that's not as blatant as, hey, we're going to use the exact image of one of your characters on one of our characters and then make a toy that's also in that truck.
Yeah.
But,
fair enough.
thank you. Silence.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would say something.
Well, it's your episode. I was just like, the next thing I had was about when Duncan was fueling up the truck and then it stopped working, and like an idiot, he looked down the nozzle. And it's like, oh, that's going to spurt him in the face, and sure as hell did.
Well, yeah, I mean, who is stupid? It's like looking at a hose and going, why is this hose blocked?
Boom, right in the face.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I could, even if a gas line was blocked.
I'm not looking directly in
No,
at it.
because of that. Like,
and then he sticks his finger in there like he's going to unplug it. Like, what did you think got in there?
It was working perfectly fine, but something from the gas tanks underground snuck up in there.
Which I don't know if either of us have it in our note, but that was the thing that made me laugh the most was later on when they're like, oh, we need to feed them.
Yeah.
And then...
and they all do it joyfully?
Well, no, like it's a hard day's of work. But the funny thing was, like, well, how are we going to do that? And all of a sudden the fuel truck pulls up, like, here you go. Like, oh my God. But I didn't write that down.
Just shy of a Disney cartoon. Like, how are we going to fix this massive problem? The happy-go-lucky gas truck is going to fill up our tanks.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was sad. We'll get to it later.
Did you have it in your notes?
Probably. I don't remember.
Because I don't think I had it in mine, and I didn't want to forget it later.
We'll find out.
Oh,
and then I have the hypnotic video game that electrocutes people. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was... yeah.
Aside from the shitty 80s electrocution effects.
Well, like, it was almost like that game Hypnotize That Guy. Like, he was just staring at it like...
It was really strange.
Huh?
It was a little Season of the Witchy.
Yes, it
really.
was. Bum, 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 bum. So we should do Season of the Witch then, huh?
It's a good movie.
We'll do that one. We'll do that one around Halloween time.
Yeah, we should.
All right.
I watched it not that long ago. It holds up pretty well for an 80s, whatever.
I think I started to.
The dumbest one for me was Death by Soda Machine.
Yes,
Move.
that one.
Like,
oh my God! And then you look in there and you
cartoon.
just see the fucking like the nozzle where it's being shot out, and I'm like, that's like I used to work for Coca-Cola, and I did vending. Machines aren't like that at all.
I don't spend a lot of time staring into vending machines.
No, but I had to service them.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, it's at a certain point, like all the cans are coming out. That's what's happening. It's not catching you by surprise anymore. It's killed a guy, and yet that kid just like looks at it.
Yeah,
like, is it gonna keep coming?
And then I like how he puts the fucking catcher mask on. He's like,
yeah. Got this, and whacks him right in the face anyway.
He's like, I'm out.
Like, why don't you just leave anyway? And then the rando steamroller just appears on the baseball field, and Austin Powers that guy.
Right. Well, that was funny too, because the thing that caught me, kind of took me out of it, was I get the Comet being able to kind of take over machines.
Yeah.
Things that need something to operate it. Mm-hmm. But like, you'll see a few times in this movie where like things kind of come to life on their own, and it's like, okay, so this like bike made, like it basically locked up the front brake and flipped the kid over it.
Yeah, like a pedal bike, not like a motorcycle bike.
Right, and then the sprinklers that come on by themselves.
The least sense.
Well, what about the fucking the crank, the lever thing that turns on its own? I'm like, that like
doesn't make sense.
You can't. Now they're controlling anything, like, huh?
Yeah, there's no like laws, and then there's times where it should be controlling stuff, like Yeardley Smith's car, where it's like, okay, it's controlling cars.
Well, maybe
maybe
it knew how she was driving that car in the beginning. It was like, oh, we'll be all
You'll
right.
kill yourself. It's fine.
Yeah, he's like, go the other way. I'm like, wow, she's out here rallying.
That's fun.
But yeah, so yeah, the kid gets steamrolled, which is like, wow, okay, they went there.
Mm-hmm. It was cool, and it was super brutal.
Yeah,
it was just like, where'd it come from?
Yeah, like I liked the use of the practical effect in this movie. Like,
yeah,
it all worked for the most part. So next thing, so we got the creepy asshole traveling pastor salesman.
Oh God, yeah. I have that a little bit further down.
Well, go ahead and fill us in, because that's the next thing that I had.
Let's see. My next thing is when I first start talking about the Green Goblin truck, and that's when it gets a mind of its own and starts like shifting and like looking at people for reasons. I don't mean to do it. It's a habit. Just shut up and move on. Right. And then the kid bikes down the street by all the dead people and doesn't seem to care.
Yeah.
And that's when we get to the sprinkler thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead people. But yeah, so damn, I have that. So yeah, I have the creepy the traveling pastor salesman.
Maybe I missed it on the...
I got the just married then with Yeardley Smith. And then I got sprinklers down here a little bit further.
I must have missed some shit in my notes.
Well, yeah, it sounds like you didn't do anything with Brett.
Yeah, must not have.
With the
Well, then you fill us in.
well, just with she was hitchhiking.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, and then she was picked up by the traveling pastor salesman out there trying to sell Bibles.
And feel her up and be super creepy, grody,
Yeah, he was
and
not.
demeaning towards women.
Yeah, he definitely was. Yeah, that guy was a real piece of shit.
Oh, it's like, well, that's what's so crazy is later on when he's selling Bibles, it's like, wait, you do what now? I thought you were just some creepy old dude who picked up a hot chick on the side of the road.
Well, and I kind of was wondering. I kind of thought that might have been what he was doing because it looks like he had all those like religious leaflets on the top of his car.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
What do they call that? The fucking
Dashboard?
dashboard. There you go.
I'm here for you.
No, you're not. But there was a bunch of those on the dashboard, and I'm like, is this guy is he like a pastor, or is he out here like just handing shit out? And
He
then
just found stuff and was throwing it at people. See, I was so mesmerized by his a-holedness that I didn't even notice that stuff.
yeah, he was on one for sure.
Well, and then I have... Yeah, so I think you... Yeah, I missed
But
a
yeah,
whole
so
bunch of
yeah,
stuff.
after that, then you meet Connie and Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
They just got married.
Oh, I
Sweet
missed all that.
and innocent couple coming.
Mm-hmm.
They just got married that day.
Right.
Tried to stop for fuel, and that's when they got the tow truck.
Yeah, that's the tow truck that runs them down.
right. And see, and the thing was like I didn't realize because I'd seen her before, Yeardley Smith, but I didn't know that she was Lisa.
Oh.
Because we were talking about lunch today. I remember her from The Legend of Billie Jean. And then you're like, oh, that's Lisa Simpson. I'm like, oh.
See, I know her from The Simpsons, and then so when I see her in other things, especially that voice, like she doesn't really do a voice for The Simpsons. It's just her voice.
Yeah, well, I mean, and yeah, you would see that, but like I didn't ever know what she looked like.
Yeah.
But I knew her. I knew that face,
Right.
and so it was like kind of putting it together. I'm like, oh, okay, that's where I know that from.
It's also an episode of Big Bang Theory.
That's right. You said that. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you said that at lunch today.
Yeah.
So yeah, they stop to try to fuel up. Then they get rallied on by the tow truck. They try to escape. She crazy drives, and so they leave there. And then they come across the sign for the Dixie Boy or whatever they call that truck stop, which everybody seems to be around.
See, that's the thing. It's like, why is everyone... I think I have that later in my notes. Like, why is everyone flocking to this truck stop where there's... Obviously, it's being bombarded by these semis. Like, keep going. Mm-hmm. Their truck or their car is not affected by this for some reason.
No, but I mean, as a truck driver or previously,
Sure.
like, there's not... When you're in the middle of nowhere, there's not a lot of places that you can stop.
Dan's calling it the middle of nowhere. If I don't give you shit, what are we doing here? You know?
And so like I get all that, but I mean it at the same time it's like I get the trucks going there, but like
Yeah, because it's a truck stop. Like, and a lot of them were there already, parked and shit. And I guess the kid later on is looking for that girl. I guess.
he is?
Or no, wait, no, he's looking for his dad.
Yeah, because his
dad is one
his
of
dad
the,
is Duncan, the guy that was staring down the nozzle of the
Yeah.
fuel pump.
not the brightest tool in the.
No, that kid was
Garage.
pretty smart though.
Yeah, no
I was
kidding.
Not sure how he.
Thankfully, he fell very far from that tree.
Right. And so then we get the Brett Estevez connection. I'm never gonna think of it differently now because of you, but yeah, so they kind of meet, they get all flirty. She fucking hits him with a vroom vroom, whatever the hell that was. And then yeah, she was about Emilio right out the gate.
Who isn't?
Emilio. Yeah.
Show me the mighty ducks.
the mighty duck man himself. Yeah, she was about it. And then so they go back to Deke, which is the kid's name. And so he's biking around, sees Some weird shit, yeah. Like, you don't really ever see the dead bodies up close, but, like, you see, like, the legs sticking out of the bush and then somebody hanging out the window.
That was the thing that kind of bugged me, because it was like, what killed these people? Did their cars attack them? And they do it later when they're at the boats. There's just some rando hanging out the side of their car, out the window, and it's like, well, how did they die?
Right, and see, the thing is like, some of them... Well, and I think it kind of has to do something with, like, how the waitress was attacked by the slicer.
Yeah.
And so I think that, I don't know, like, maybe somebody got choked. They had headphones on. They got choked by the cord, which doesn't make sense. But
No, but,
then again.
Sprinklers.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he's going down there. He goes up somewhere and then sees or that's when he starts to get chased by the lawnmower.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know exactly. I think he's trying to go to his house.
Might be.
Because he was playing baseball, and then that whole thing happened, and then he was going, I assume, to his house and saw the street of death, and then
The street of death?
chased by the lawnmower.
Right.
That he easily outran.
Yeah.
Outbiked.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah. And then he just says, screw this, I'm going to find my dad at the truck stop, I guess.
Yeah, but see, the funny thing is, like, I get, like, when, I know we touched on this, but, like, I get the cars being taken over.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's just, like, the inanimate objects, that I don't get unless...
I don't either.
Unless it has, like, some sort of mechanical component, like...
Well, yeah, it's like, okay,
sprinklers have gear, like little cog gears, to move, so maybe...
So it's not electronics, it's mechanics? Maybe?
I guess.
Sure.
But
Let's just say that's what it is.
Right, but he's riding down the road, and then all the sprinklers come on one by one.
Which was a cool scene.
It looked cool,
yeah.
But I was like...
And when he turned around and they all turned off, like, that was a nice touch. And you said you noticed a It reference.
Well, yeah, when
there.
he's coming around the corner, into that little intersection, they had the big drain, drains in the corner of the road, which growing up, we didn't have big sewer drains like that.
Yeah.
But in that one, they have the big sewer drains. And if you look off in the top right, you can see something in the drain coming out of or around it. And I thought it was a reference. And then I looked it up later, and then I guess I wasn't the only one that thought that. So I was like, huh.
Well, it's Stephen King. I mean, he tends to find little ways to, even other people that make his movies, better ones, find ways to do little winks and nods and suggest that they're all connected and shit.
Right. Well, I mean, and they are, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Castle Rock is really good.
I need to finish that.
So then, I have the semi-splats the blinded guy.
Yeah, I had Pat Hingle as a dick. And then Duncan is going, he's like, I got to find my boy.
But you're blind, fool.
Yeah. and then fucking Hingle comes up and he's like, you don't clock out, you don't have to worry about clocking out ever again. And then fucking Emilio Estevez was like, I'll knock your teeth in, Bubba. I'm like, oh my God. And the thing was like, Emilio's not a bad actor, but in this movie, he was not. There was some.
You can only do so much with the material you're given, and when you're saying things like Bubba, there's really only so far you can take that.
Fair enough. Yeah, that semi took him the fuck out.
I know, that one was pretty cool. I like that one. And then we get the goblin truck gets the Bible salesman, which was kind of strange. But
see, the thing is there was another truck that was going around and hit his brand new Cadillac.
Right.
And that's when he was sitting there talking to, what was her name, Wanda or something like that. Talking to the married couple, the waitress and her husband. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting there and he looks out the window and the semi-truck, hits his car, and then the thing falls down and drops trash on his car, and everybody stands up, and then he's like, son of a bitch, and then he pushes the waitress, he's all, son of a bitch, get out of my way, bitch. And I'm like, wow, you're selling Bibles, dude.
I know, he's just the worst, most horrible person on the planet. Oh, and by the way, he sells Bibles. And then, is it later or before that where he's sitting with Yeardley, and or maybe it was someone else, and he was like trying to sell
That
his
was
Bibles
that
to
was
him.
the waitress that was he
Yeah.
was trying to sell a Bible. He's like, for $9.95.
Yeah.
This and that was at that point.
Okay.
And then he goes outside, and then he does get rear-ended by.
Well, I thought it killed him, and I kind of wish it had.
You thought it did because it looked
Yeah.
like it had blood splatter on the back, and then it knocked him out of his shoes.
Yeah. And they focus on the shoes, like, oh, it hit him so hard it knocked him out of his shoes.
Right, and you thought he was dead, but
And then he goes into a ditch, but then they end up leaving him for dead.
he
So it's
wasn't.
like they could have just killed him off in the first place, but they
Right.
needed him for that plot device.
They needed him for that jump scare later on.
Yeah. The only jump scare in the movie. It was effective, though.
Yeah, I saw it coming, so it didn't really get me.
You would.
And that's when they start circling the station. Shortly after that, which was your biggest gripe of the fucking. You're like, just leave.
Right?
You're like, just leave. And even with circling the gas station, you're like, just leave. Yeah. And like, I've been at truck stops. I mean, even if they're going in circles, man, like trying to get out of those things, Jesus.
Yeah, I know. But and then I guess being there, it would seem much faster. But watching it on screen, it seemed like you could easily just skirt your way past one.
Right.
In the midst. And like if they tried to speed up too much, they'd hit the other truck and cause a wreck. And so you would.
Or something else.
Done anyway.
Something else weird would happen.
The gas pumps would start flying at you.
Oh no. So they're circling the station, and then it shows Connie's still driving all crazy. Or no, the husband's driving now, right? Curtis.
Yeah.
So he was driving. They were heading towards the thing, and they're being chased by a flatbed.
Mm-hmm.
And
then it just erupts into flames for some reason.
But the funny thing about that is like the car speeds up and then slows down.
Yeah.
And then speeds up and slows down. I'm like, just speed up and don't slow down.
Right.
And then get away.
Isn't
and,
that kind of the point of a chase? Is
right.
Like to get away. So you just
well,
go
and the
faster?
thing was they go to take the exit, but they take it too early. So it's like if you're trying to lose the truck, you did a bad job about it.
Right. You take the exit late so they don't know where you're going.
Right. And then that's when, and then you did the cool maneuver, and then the truck caught on fire on its way over the
Because
edge.
that's what trucks do.
Yeah, thank God mine never did. But then exploded when it came to a stop out there. It's just like,
Of course.
oh, 1986. Okay.
They just think that cars explode.
Right.
I don't know why, but they just think that they do. And then we get to see hear Lisa Simpson curse and scream and scream and then curse some more and then scream again.
That was so hilarious. I'm just picturing Lisa like, just God
damn it, Bart! Shit!
Fuck,
Get me out
shit,
of this
get me out of
fucking
this
car!
It was hilarious.
It was great. And then Commissioner Gordon has a rocket launcher.
Yeah. Where the because and that was my initial thought, like, okay, where the fuck did he get that?
Right?
And then to be able to fire that bitch and then hit those things. Everybody is a master at firing bazookas from the hip.
So am I. That's what I do on the weekends. I don't know what you do. Watch TV?
No, you watched. Shut up. But yeah, so he just, God damn it, yeah, he just keep like the whole. Because see, the thing was, is I think I had to rewind it once or twice because I'm like, I never saw him reload it the first time, so I was like,
Where'd he get it? How'd he reload it? How's he firing it so well?
And then you can kind of
What's
see that
happening?
his little goony guy standing next to him was holding one. He's like, reload him. Whatever the fuck his name was, Joey or Joni or
Extra
Joey.
guy. Thing two.
And then shot it, and then he hit the trailer of the one, and it exploded, and it was just raining TP everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool.
But one of my favorite parts is where Brett says, quote, before every machine in the world went into maximum overdrive.
I didn't hear that part, but god damn it. That's hilarious.
If I'm going to save the world, I'm going to have to be Superman 4, A Quest for Peace.
For reasons.
Exactly. That's just how you do that.
But then at least they finally kind of told you where he would have got the bazooka from. The dude's got a fucking arsenal downstairs.
The why is, I guess you could say he's just one of those crazy conspiracy nut jobs, plus he's a peckerhead, so he would feel the need to have an enormous amount of armories.
Hey, I like firearms.
Cool. Do you have a bazooka? Do you want one?
Yeah.
Why?
Why you don't want a bazooka?
What would I do with it? It would just sit there.
But would you want to fire it ever?
I guess, maybe. But
Exactly.
I don't see a place in the world where I would be able to do that and not get arrested. But that's me. I'm not a gun person. That's just the way I am.
It's okay.
Okay? Because then we have a plane that chases a kid. And the best part about that,
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun,
they
dun, dun,
actually
dun.
do Ride of the Valkyries from Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Like, why? You have to be as unbearably cliche in this movie as possible.
Yes. 100%.
So unbearably 80s, it makes me sad.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, well, I wonder if this is going to factor into anything ever. And it doesn't.
Oh, well, why wouldn't? It's just a scene.
But it does show that specific airplane sticking out of the top of a bus later on. I was like, that's where that plane went. It tried to kill
bus.
a bus. Yeah,
Maybe a bus full of kids.
maybe.
But wouldn't the plane trust the bus to kill the kids? Or are some of the cars good? Maybe that's why the Lisa Simpson car didn't kill them, because it was a good car.
So we have Autobots and Decepticon
Yeah.
version of Maximum
I actually
Overdrive.
do have the... I skipped over it because I didn't want to make you hear it, but I said the semis organize and roll out.
I would have thrown my shoe at you.
I know, that's why I didn't say it.
Well, thank you. You
You
did.
just seem very angry.
No,
It's fine.
I'm just tired.
Let's see. Need another drinky poo before you go Betty bye? So then the waitress
Maybe.
goes crazy
Oh,
in the shittiest, greatest, dumbest line in the movie.
you forgot about sexy time on the first day.
Well, let's talk about it.
Well, there's nothing to talk about. Like Estevez.
I think I did skip over that on purpose because it just made no sense. And I was just like, I'm so tired of writing down things that are just happening on screen.
Because it's 1986. It's Emilio Estevez. And
You have to have a sex scene for Estevez.
he doesn't even talk like that at all. The Mighty Duck Man needed to get it in.
It's got to make a goal.
It's a contract requirement.
Yeah.
Put me with a...
If I'm going to make this stupid-ass movie, you are going to put me in bed with the hot chick. I don't care how many hot chicks are in the movie, as long as there's one, and we end up naked together because.
Right. And then you had the waitress, and she's just goes off on that annoying-ass tirade of, we made you! Where's your loyalty to us?
Like, why do you think there should be?
Yeah, what makes you think that you have power? It's like, you made me, that gives you power over me?
First of all, she didn't make any of you.
No.
You're a waitress. Nothing against waitressing at all. I'm saying she didn't make them. So, maybe if it was a Frankenstein's monster kind of thing, there'd be some sort of love there.
Right.
But, like...
You're a waitress. I know you want to say it, but you also don't want to...
No, I was saying, like, putting that aside, like... I don't know. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, she felt very betrayed.
Yeah.
But the fact
and she was the only one, and it just seemed to come out of nowhere. It's like, we made you machines. Why aren't you loyal to us? Why would they be?
Right.
If anything, that's more of a reason not to be.
You're annoying. I will kill you. So yeah, then that, and then I wrote down Sneaky Deke. So Deke does make his way to the truck stop, but he sees that it's being circled by the semi truck. So he tries to go underground, through the culvert or whatnot, but it's gated off.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Dang it,
shit!
God, crap!
I just want to get to this damn truck stop. That's where everybody is going. Like, this is the cool spot in town. I want to go there." At least the kid had a reason. His dad should have been there had he not died.
Exactly.
Everyone else is just dumb. I put on here, let's see, where did I get it? They went to save a Bible salesman, but found a kid instead, and that's good enough. Because when they get there, so they hear the Bible salesman screaming, and Estevez and the other guy have this string of conscience, and be like, hey, we have to save this guy, even though he's a big piece of shit.
Right.
So they go through the outhouse thing.
Yeah, whatever
through the
that
pipes.
is. Which is definitely how things are set up.
Yeah.
With the big old rope.
Uh-huh.
Tell me what you're gonna need that stupid fucking rope for.
Just to tow a truck out.
I had no fucking clue what he was doing at first, and then they climb up out. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Shows how much I was paying attention to the movie. But
well, you noticed more than me, so I think we're on par with each other here. But yeah, they finally get through this tunnel to save this guy, because sure, why not?
Uh-huh.
And then they find the kid and go, oh, it's you, kid, because I know you. Because I know your dad from truck stop. And then they just kind of forget that the Bible salesman was there and leave him.
Yeah, they're like, fuck that guy. Just let him lay there. They probably just assumed he was dead.
I guess. But he was yelling earlier. That's why they went out there in the first place.
Help! They're like, no, fuck you.
I heard what you said to What's Your Face?
Yeah. Get out of my way,
Dick.
bitch. But yeah, so then it gets the jump scare, and then everyone just goes to sleep, right?
I think so.
Because the next thing I had was the gun cart.
Yeah, I have a Bubba car gets bulldozed, and then the machine gun cart.
Yeah.
So somehow, at some point, they go to bed or something, and then it's the next morning, because the machine gun cart doesn't come until the next morning.
Well, and neither does the bulldozing. The bulldozing car is what wakes everybody up. That's right. And so the fucking enforcer shows up.
The heavy metal Decepticons.
Now. Fucking just shows up, and it's, oh my goodness. And then they start to like, almost like that, like the cart has some sort of like sentient being to it. Like they're like talking to it like it can understand.
Well, the cars eventually develop like personality. So it's like they not only are they alive and moving, but they understand people. They can communicate, as we find out with the gas truck.
That, and then when the Green Goblin, like the eyes light up when he's talking to it and shit, and I'm like, oh my god.
Why? The car's on. I get it. It's awake. There's no one behind the wheel.
Right.
I understand. So the machine gun cart goes on a massacre, and I do like... That's when I went, okay, that's why they're stuck there.
Yeah, the machine
Any
gun
other time, I was like, okay, they could... Especially when they found the tunnel and found the kid. Like, go get everybody and have them leave through the tunnel. Then the movie's over.
But they also did do that, and that's when the fucking car followed them down into the ditch.
I guess. Maybe I tuned out some stuff. I don't know.
Must have.
So then we get
Again with the We Made You.
the repeat of Wanda, We Made You.
Gets
and then
blasted.
she dies.
Yeah, she gets shot the fuck up.
That was great. It was so nice.
Yeah, I was like...
That's your cheer moment.
Yeah, we didn't really do a scorecard for this one, but if most
I have
die...
I have a scorecard, but I don't have a special category for this one. That's what I meant by that text. Did you misunderstand?
Yep.
And not do a scorecard at all?
Again.
Okay. Well, I have a scorecard, just no special category.
I'll riff
Okay.
it. Which I do every time we record.
Sure. But the cars demand some fuel, or you're going to die. And so we get the fill up rockin' convoy. And...
Fuck yeah, you did, dude. And everybody's out there, like, they montage it, too. Like, everyone's out there just working hard.
Working 9 to 5.
Too bad they didn't play a song like that in the background.
Well, it wasn't made by AC/DC, so they couldn't.
An AC/DC cover version of it.
I so could have seen Stephen King coked up in the 80s saying, do 9 to 5.
God damn it, give me that 9 to 5. That's
That's
great.
not one of our songs, sir. Just do it.
I'm Stephen King, bitch.
I'm the king.
Call me the king.
Nobody beats
You're the
me.
king. You're the king.
Oh, it's so freaking... like, say no. I mean, I get that there's the machine gun
Now,
cart,
yeah.
but...
You're having such a hard time with it.
Yeah. I'm really... I think it's because it's so all over the place that it's like... I feel like there are ways to circumvent this problem that they are just unwilling to accept.
I'm curious about how his book is to this movie.
Yeah, no kidding. I think it's a short story. I hope it's a
Go
short
figure,
story.
huh?
It was a
Trucks.
short enough movie. Well, and then Emilio he gets a grenade from the armory and grenades the gun cart.
Right, but
which
then,
was pretty cool.
But doesn't one of the things, I think it's the Morse. They do the Morse code.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, that's right.
I think and that's before one that got gunned down too.
Yeah, and that was when they learned the fuel or death thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do more. I don't remember what vehicle does Morse code, but one of them does it, and that's how they learn that they need fuel or they'll kill them all.
Right.
With the gun cart.
Yeah.
So finally, they escape.
Mm-hmm.
And the trucks get pissed and wreck the place. Which again,
it's like they're throwing a little tantrum.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like the way they dismantle everything. I'm like, oh my God.
You suck.
These trucks are like fucking toddlers out there.
They are. But I won't say it again because I've said it like 6 times. But it lends to, why didn't they leave before? Before the gun cart showed up, just leave.
Because then you would have to have outran the trucks.
They had to do that anyway. If the trucks didn't throw their temper tantrum and just destroy the gas station,
true,
they could have just left, and it's fine.
All right.
So there.
Okay.
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 So the burger sign says "Death to all humans," which I thought was great. It was very bendery.
Right.
It threw me off at first because I was like, well, doesn't a person say that into the microphone, like when you order at a burger
Death
place?
to all humans.
Well,
Yeah.
So it's not a speak and spell that like talks.
Come play with me.
Do you want to play a game? It's a person speaking into the microphone that does that.
Right.
But it was still cool that it was like, we want to kill all the humans for... Yeah.
You were going to say reasons,
I know.
but you got yourself.
Can't.
You're like, for stuff.
For stuff.
That's great. But yeah, so then they start to make their way towards the marina because Estevez had a goal to get to the marina, to get on a boat that somehow couldn't be...
That's what I was going to ask.
that couldn't be controlled, but sprinklers can.
Right? It was like, okay, if you're going to get on a boat, I was thinking, okay, maybe it's a paddle boat. It can't control a paddle boat. There's no mechanics on a paddle boat. It's a motorized boat. Like,
that boat has
all of the things that should be controlled by this thing, the motorboat should be.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I was like, okay, so they're going to get on that boat. You know, that boat, it's kind of yacht. It's like a little yacht. Mm-hmm. It's, nice boat. And I'm like, goddamn well, there's a motor.
Yeah.
There's an engine.
Well, before we get to that and the stupidest balls ending, there's a random person sticking out of a car window.
With a big old fucking giant 1986
the super
fucking
fake ring.
Diamond ring on.
Like, it doesn't even kind of look like a real ring. It looks like a gumball machine
It
ring.
literally looks like a ring pop.
Yeah.
It looks like a ring pop.
Which are delicious and pointless at the same time.
Pointless.
Well, like, if you don't finish it very quickly and you set your hand anywhere, ruined. That's all I'm going to say.
About that.
I do. I don't want fuzz on my lollipops.
Fair enough.
And then Emilio finally kills the goblin car, which couldn't we have used the rocket launcher a long time ago?
Yeah.
Maybe at the gas station?
Yeah, but that was the leader. That was Optimus
Exactly. Kill the leader. The rest will follow.
What?
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It doesn't control boats. Why wouldn't it killing their leader stop them? And the best part is the end.
Uh-huh.
Because
Yeah.
instead of showing what could have been an amazing sequence, they say that, oh, by the way, there were UFOs controlling the cars, and they launched an invasion on Earth, but the Russians took care of it and destroyed the spaceships, so don't worry about it. And everything was fine a few days later.
But the funny thing is why were they being controlled by UFOs if it was caused by a comet?
Why were there UFOs in the first place?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If everything was because of being on the tail end of a comet
Yeah.
for a week,
Uh-huh.
why, and there not being any mention of UFOs outside of that paragraph?
No, the girl, Brett or whatever, had this random throwaway theory of maybe it's aliens. And I didn't think anything of it other than, I guess that's something someone would consider
Yeah,
a possibility, especially in the 80s,
true. Yeah, makes sense.
because they're all coked out of their minds, being directed by Stephen King. But then they don't say it again, and it's all the comet, which also doesn't make sense, but fine. That's the logic of
Well,
the
yeah,
movie. I'll run with it.
The sky was a glow
Yeah.
green.
With the green of comet. Not the cleaning substance, but the thing in the sky.
Right.
And that's fine. Like, okay.
It took 8 days to pass through.
Sure, no kidding. That's a slow-ass movie. I guess the tail, that's the thing? Like the remnants
What, like,
of the
it did
tail?
it like pass through and then you ended up somehow in like the middle of it and then you got to come out the backside of it? Like,
I guess. It controls cars but not boats, man. You know? That's all you need to know about
yeah,
this.
it controls bicycles and sprinklers, but not
a
boats.
motorized boat.
Huh. Okay.
So you get why I was crapping on this movie a little bit.
Conceptually, it was still a fun movie. I didn't hate
Yeah.
it. I'll
But
watch it again someday.
I would not. Just, it's so nonsensical that, and I didn't have any intention of taking it seriously, especially after doing the research and finding out what it was about. But
Right.
there's only so much leeway I can give for a bad, shitty movie. And it's not even fun shitty. That's the thing. It's almost irritating shitty.
Really?
And that's what makes it worse. So I did a scorecard, and my best kill, which was tough because there weren't a lot,
Yeah.
but steamrolled.
Yeah, I would have to say my favorite kill would be the soda machine.
Really?
Yeah, that was hilarious. The guy took one to the head and he's like,
Then he stayed there until it pummeled him to death.
God damn it, Bobby.
Like, move.
Yeah, he was done. He had this big old fucking,
Like soda can out of his head.
big old red, like he fucking got stamped on the forehead. Yeah, that was great.
My most wanted to die was Bubba, Commissioner Gordon.
Mine was, yeah.
He was such a dill hole.
He was a dick the whole time.
I know.
And honestly, the waitress was annoying, but she was only annoying twice.
Yeah.
And
And
that-
she got her comeuppance the second time while doing the thing that made her annoying the first time. So there
Right.
was something pleasant about that.
Right.
Most wanted to live was Brett, the main girl.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain myself.
Calm down there.
Well, and she's also the only person in this movie, aside from maybe the kid, that wasn't stupid.
Yeah, she was pretty smart. I
Yeah.
I think I would probably say her just because I went to go write it down, but the line that she said when the pastor salesman put his hand on her leg the second time, talking about like if you don't take your hand off, blah blah blah. I was like, get it,
Yeah.
beat his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She really stood her ground with creepy Bible salesman, who almost made my most wanted to die list. But Commissioner Gordon was a bigger dick.
I'll go with him then on mine because I know I don't think I answered, but yeah, that guy was obnoxious too. Piece of shit.
Grossest moment, I went with Runaway Meat Carver because that was probably the most grotesque of the things that happened.
Get in the arm.
Well, and it was like blood spurty, minus that.
Yeah. And that was your what? Your grossest
Grossest moment.
Grossest moment? I'd probably say mine would be the kid getting steamrolled. You don't really see it, but you hear a little bit of it, and it's like, fuck, man, that's a kid. A dumb kid. Because honestly, if I see a steamroller, I'm rolling to the left.
Or right, or literally any direction but straight or backwards.
So, left or right.
Diagonal. And you go on there.
That takes longer.
It's better than straight.
Or not at all.
Or not at all, and you
Or
get
sometimes
steamrolled.
not at all.
Austin Power style.
Couple of references today.
Dumbest moment, Russians destroyed a UFO.
That doesn't surprise me that that's what you put. My dumbest moment is, I would have to say... I'd have to say the pastor salesman standing there watching the truck back up.
Yeah, that one took a very long time to happen. I forgot about that. It was like...
No!
That was awesome, very Austin Powersy.
Yeah.
It was like, just move. It's going very slow, backwards.
Yeah, it didn't even look like it was moving.
It's like you were walking towards it.
Yeah. It
wanting
didn't
to
look
be
like
hit.
it moved at all, and I was like, okay. No.
You done? You checked out?
Yep.
Moving on?
Yeah.
You're so over this movie?
No,
Or are you
I
sugar
just-
crashing?
No, sugar crash. No, I have a toothache, so
I'll load up with some sugar. That'll make it better.
yeah, I'm doing everything right now. Yeah, I think that'd be my dumbest moment. And I mean, we didn't really come up, we didn't have a special category for
No,
it.
I tried. I wanted to do something like best use of a mechanical thing.
Yeah, best automated.
But they were so nonsensical and random, and the things that should have been didn't, and things that shouldn't have did. And most of them didn't kill people. Like, I think
true.
if they had shown what killed those people on Death Street, I could have picked one out of that.
Yeah.
Because if they'd come up with something clever and been like, oh, this whatever impaled this person,
Right.
you're like, oh, that's cool. You know, I didn't get to see it, but I could imagine it doing that.
Right. Yeah, they didn't give you really a whole lot of
Yeah.
anything for that.
So, you don't get one this week. Sorry.
Yeah.
Boom.
I would say that we are sorry, but we're not.
No.
So there. And
Because
so
we had to watch this movie and you didn't.
well, hey, you know, it's like this movie would be awesome to sit around with a bunch of friends, have
And
some
shit on.
drinks, and just have fun.
Yeah, I agree.
It would be
Watching
like
it
a
by
good party movie.
Yeah. Watching it's I mean it's like Plan 9. You know, you just put it on to shit on it. Or The Room. You ever watch The Room?
Yes, I have seen
God,
The Room.
it's horrid. And that's the
hi.
point.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi. Let's
Good
throw
doggy.
around a baseball or a
football.
football for no reason in a very small enclosed circle.
Did you ever watch Disaster Artist?
No, I always wanted to, though.
It's good. It was on Amazon last I saw.
Anywho, that's it for Maximum Overdrive. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
And
very
we're
much.
sorry.
Yeah, this was a super quick episode.
Yeah. But there's also not a lot to talk about. A lot of these movies, there's a big in-depth behind the scenes, and that takes up some time. And things happen in the movie that we care to talk about. But in this one, like the making of was virtually nothing.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole hell of a lot going on there.
No.
But you know what? There is a whole lot going on. My pick for next week. Nice little segue. I can barely contain myself.
I see that. I'm going to have to steam clean my carpet.
So next week,
Next episode.
yeah, either way. Yeah, our next episode is going to be my second all-time favorite horror film. And we're going back to 1974, and we're going to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Ooh.
Yes,
Gonna
I
get
love
to
this
see a
movie
dude in a
so
wheelchair get
goddamn
killed.
much. Come on, Sally! Fucking don't get me started on that guy, dude.
Oh, we will
Oh,
in
yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, so make sure to join us in 2 weeks when we talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I'm excited. I'm excited for good horror movies, including our bonus episode coming up.
Yeah, we're gonna pop out a bonus.
Yeah. So let's end this.
All right,
and move on
guys.
to the good stuff.
Well, we'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. You can find us on Facebook at Pod and Gore Podcast. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Gore_pod. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, anything, make sure to send us an email at podandgore@gmail.com or any of the aforementioned.
Yeah, if there's a movie that, because we kind of pick these at random, it's what do we feel like watching and digging into.
Right.
So unless we get a suggestion from one of you guys, you're at our mercy.
Yeah.
It's just, whatever we feel like watching. This was one that I had borrowed from someone and had on my coffee table for like 3 months.
It's been sitting there forever.
Yeah, and I was just like, I want to get this movie back to him. This is the only way I'm going to actually have time to watch
and
it.
I forgot to bring it, and now it's going to be sitting on mine till Tuesday.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.